Welcome to Friendly AI. I'm your host, Michelangelo. I'm an incredibly shallow person, and if I don't get my own way, I will throw a hissy fit. Kind of like when a slut doesn't get choked. So Michael Pachter, industry analyst, and Geoff Keighley, Mountain Dew and Doritos expert, had a little hissy fit about PlayStation Now during the latest episode of Bonus Round on GameTrailers.com. For those of you who don't know what PlayStation Now is, that's Sony's gaming streaming service that could be played on the PS4, PS3, PS Vita, Sony Bravia TVs, and eventually Sony and non-Sony devices. It would have been easier just to say everything. It runs on everything. You can play it on your Kindle. So think of it as Netflix for video games. You get it? You'll only be able to play Sony exclusives with the service. At launch, it'll only be PS3 games like The Last of Us and God of War Ascension, etc., etc. Currently, it's being beta tested right now, but it'll come out for the rest of us sometime during June of this year, just in time for my bar mitzvah. I'm not Jewish. Mazel tov. Now the discussion between Geoff Keighley and Michael Pachter really started when Geoff Keighley pointed out that Sony has a lot of first-party content. Michael Pachter immediately disagreed with Geoff. Well, I'll just roll the clip. Roll it!
I don't think PlayStation Now has a prayer of getting more than 1 million subscribers. Right. I don't think it has a prayer of keeping them because I don't think the publishers will support it. So
but Sony has a lot of first-party content, so you're going to get that.
A lot is a stretch. 30.
Right.
They have 30 games.
They have new. What if they start putting out, things like demos and stuff via that service, right?
Sure.
So it's like first access demos.
You're going to pay $10 a month for it?
Oh, you think it's going to be $10 a month?
I would. Okay, $5 a month. Is there $1? How much is there if you?
You see, they're giving you BioShock Infinite as part of PlayStation Plus now, which is a pretty good deal. That's a game that's less than 2 years old.
The less that you charge for the subscription,
right,
the less money there is to pay the publishers.
Right.
Last I checked, the publishers are all about making money.
Now, I see both sides here. I understand Michael's concerns with only the 30 first-party games, but I think he's only thinking about the PS3 and the PS4 exclusives. I think he's not considering the games from the PS1 and the PS2. I mean, Sony has an amazing backlog of games. Geoff also brought up a good point that Sony could put demos of new games on the streaming service, saving users download time. On the other hand, Michael Pachter brought up another great point. There's no incentive for third-party publishers to put their new games onto PlayStation Now, unless if they could sell their new game at full price, of course. The rumored price for the PlayStation Now service is $49.99 for a full year subscription. But to be honest, I think the real appeal of PlayStation Now is not playing new games, but being able to play old classics instantly on any device, if Sony decides to put classic games on there, of course. But nobody is really talking about the big sexy fat elephant in the room, the data usage problem. A lot of people in North America and around the world have a limit to their data usage with their internet provider. Take me, for example. I have a limit of 250 gigabytes a month. I watch a lot of Netflix. I love animal documentaries. I download a lot of digital versions of games on my consoles and Steam, of course. And on top of that, there's going to be PlayStation Now. And you know for sure cloud gaming is going to eat up some data. There's no more data for my browsers. I've used cloud gaming services before, OnLive, you might have heard of it. But you know what? It's alright, but it's not amazing. I mean, most of the games are at least 2 years old, and there's not many games on the service. Also, I think it's worth mentioning that OnLive almost went bankrupt. Not saying that will happen to PlayStation Now, though. Michael Pachter went on to say that there's a huge audience for this service. He just doesn't think there's going to be enough content. In other words, the juice is just not worth the squeeze for publishers and developers. My question's for you, my good lords. Are you excited about PlayStation Now? Are you planning on getting it? Is this rumored price of $49 too much? Let me know in the comments section below. Personally, I don't think I'd buy the service. Now, if I was a super casual gamer and I didn't own like a PS3 and a PS4, maybe I would consider it. Maybe. If you want to know where I got all my info and you want proof that I didn't get this shit from thin air, I'll leave links in the description below. Aloysius, show them your talent. 6 out of 10. You did okay. You can follow me on Twitter only if you feel comfortable about it. No pressure, okay? I'll keep you up to date with gaming news and my videos. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And if you don't want to subscribe, perhaps you can give me a friendly choke. Geoff Keighley's stare scares the shit out of me. Just look at him. Look at him. Like, how many bodies has this man buried? This is green tea. Don't worry about it. It's green tea and honey. It's not Shrek's piss. Her name is Hershey, and she eats her own shit.